Jolie here for Title Sports Network. Delighted to be joined by Frank Warren. Magnificent Seven is what we're here for today. There's a lot going on in the world of boxing. This card surprisingly wasn't put on by Turkey Al-Sheikh because it's fantastic. Plenty of 50-50s on the card. There's a rematch there, which is going to be good to talk about as well. But overall, what a card and a day that we're here for today.
It's a great format, the Magnificent Seven. It's worked and delivered on every occasion we put one together. And this one looks like being one of the best ones out of all of them. As you say, competitive 50-50 fights. The rematch between Nathan and Brad is a cracking fight. Their first one was a contender for Fight of the Year. And I think we may get the same thing again in the second one.
Sold Acres, David Adelaide, for me, that's one of the best fights as well. Obviously, Adelaide coming off a fight in Saudi Arabia. He wasn't here today. Do you think that's a bit of mind game?
No, not at all. He was supposed to be on his way. I don't know what's happened because obviously we've been sitting up there waiting for him. But Soul's here. It's a good fight between two fighters and an important fight. You know, the heavyweight division at the moment it's on fire. But in the next couple of years, some of these guys are going to retire. So these youngsters coming through, or these guys have had a few fights, it's their chance to impress and build on keep winning and build and get themselves into a position where they can be up there challenging. You know, in Britain we're blessed with heavyweights, some great fights, some great heavyweight fighters, and that makes great heavyweight fights.
Yeah. Without a doubt, where do you think the winner of this fight goes between Dacres and Adelaide?
I think you've got to be up there fighting for the British or the European title.
Absolutely. Okay, I just want to go to that Liam Davis fight as well. He seems to have a new glow about him. I remember interviewing him 2-3 years ago, making his name with Queensbury and stuff. But today at the press conference and recently as well, do you feel the same thing? He's a new man.
He's grown very much into the status of what he is. You know, since he's been with us, he's won the British, Commonwealth, European and the IBO title. And everybody should remember that the 4 belts are held by Inui, who's probably if he's not number 1, he's number 2 in the world. And Liam's just done brilliantly every time. With Shabazz, what I'm interested in is the history they have as amateurs where he's beaten Liam twice. But I was standing in between the two of them when they were doing the face-off, and it was quite interesting to hear what they were saying. And
what was said there?
Let me tell you, we got a fight. We got a fight. I'm not going to say what they said about each other, but we have a fight, no doubt about that. It's a cracker.
Okay, in other news, Derek Chisora's back again. I'd love for you to announce that. It's not going to be out until everyone else knows, but just announce it for us here as well again on Title Sport.
Well, we got the fight at the O2. Joe Joyce and Derek Chisora. That is a real important fight for both the guys because that's going to be the end for one of them. What I mean by the end, whoever loses that, they drop. When I say drop down the ratings, they'll go right down. It'll be a hard haul back. But for the winner, you can get yourself back into the mix.
It's crazy because going into the Tyson fight, as many people would say, Chisora, will he still be fighting or should he still be fighting? But this fight just makes a lot of sense for him at this time.
Well, if he can, and what you just said, I was of the same opinion. There's times I've told him, I've had a conversation saying you should retire. But he wants to fight on, and if he's going to fight on, he's obviously put himself in a very meaningful fight, and this will determine really where he goes from here. But Joe Joyce the same. Joe can't afford to lose. He wants to get himself back in there. He's coming off of a win, and hopefully he'll get back in the groove and resurrect where and get himself back to where he was.
There's a lot going on in the world of boxing, Frank. You're a busy man, right? How far gone since you got back from Saudi Arabia?
I got back a few days ago. It was very exciting out there, in probably the best heavyweight fight of the 21st century. It was historic. I'm proud to be a part of it, along with all the rest of the people who are involved, His Excellency and Queensbury and K2. Between everybody, worked hard to deliver something a little bit special, and it was certainly special. And more importantly, the 2 fighters, they were magnificent. It was, they gave everything. They didn't leave anything in the ring. I went to both dressing rooms after the fight. Both of them were absolutely, knackered. And I want to put right again about this situation where people keep saying that I said he broke his jaw. I didn't say that. I said I was told that he'd broken his jaw because I was there when the doctor was examining him, and the doctor wanted to have a CT scan and see if it was broken. But it turned out, according to Aegis, his manager, that he had an implant tooth that got impacted and was giving him a lot of problems from obviously one of the punches.
As for the rematch, it seems like that's going to be on now. I saw Carl Froch, I know he's not your best friend, but just the statement that he did make, he said he thinks Usyk should retire. I was surprised, but I understand the point behind that. He's beaten everyone, right? But it seems the rematch is on. Just a thought on the idea of Usyk retiring. When would be the right time for him to retire?
When he wants to, and the team round him tell him to. You know, Carl Froch's always got something to say, and the reason he, you know, everything he says, it sort of has some sort of stupid motive. Like, he wouldn't want to see the rematch in case Tyson was to win it, because what's he going to say then? Look, Carl, God bless him, he's a member of the Flat Earth Society and the Flathead Society.
AJ versus Fury, just a quick one on that. Are we still looking to have that maybe early next year?
They got a rematch, and it's not even worth talking about that until they have their rematch. Let's see what happens. Who knows, after that fight, Tyson might retire. That's their choice. Remember, these guys are in their 30s now. He's a couple of years older than Tyson, Usyk, and they're getting to the age where they're financially absolutely set up for forever, and their families are. And they're in a situation where, you know, they're not, of course they're getting well paid for it. It's not just about the money with them. You know, they're fighting men.
Would the rematch be in October for Fury Usyk?
Yes.
And then just finally on the guys who fought on that card with Mark, Anthony Kakachi, these guys, what a performance from all of them. Moses as well.
Well, it was. Moses done brilliantly. He looked good. He's got very fast hands. It's a good KO. Guy had a lot of experience, 23-1, going in against an 8-0 guy. He done a great job. I mean, and Mark, I mean, I never expected that. I thought that fight would go a few rounds, and he was a good fighter. He was in with him, and he pole-axed him. And we put him on the floor with two tremendous shots. And the same night, Berenchev, who's with us, fought in America. So that may be a good fight to put together. That wouldn't be hard. That would be a cracker of a fight. And as for Anthony Kakashi, well, big underdog going into that fight. And what he did was superb. You know, that from the start of the fight, third round, the knockdown, going to the 8th when he won it. That was a world-class performance. And if he'd have fought more regularly, we'd all be talking about him. He's always had that in him. And he showed what a good fighter he is on the night, and I'm so pleased for him.
We are talking about him now. I'm going off to Saudi tomorrow for an event on Saturday, but be out there for the 5v5 as well, and look forward to seeing you out there.
Good man. Yet another great event in Saudi.
Thank you, Frank.
Buses, they come in along all the time.
We've been waiting. Thank you.